Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to have a very special session with Steve Pollack called Discover Soul Astrology, Find Your Unique Gifts. Steve has studied the sacred cosmic language of astrology for 20 or actually 30 years and practiced meditation on the inner light and sound current for 40 years. He found his life's greatest passion in contacting the divine light through meditation. His greatest purpose is in helping others learn how to see the light for themselves using tools of meditation, astrological readings, and communication. He emphasizes the positive, supportive insights that astrology can reveal. Over to you, Steve.
Thank you, Meenakshi. It is a pleasure to be here with you all. And we're going to start with a meditation, but I wanted to introduce the meditation with a poem that some of you may have heard. It was by Sam Foss. It's an old poem called The Calf Path. Is anyone familiar with it?
No.
You are?
No.
Oh, you're
No.
not? Okay, great. Because meditation is very, very special to me. It's one of the most intimate ways to connect with spirit. Prayer is also important. There's a lot of prayer going on in the world, and that's an important step because prayer helps us to clarify what is on our mind and what's in our heart. But a lot of people are praying to higher consciousness, to divinity, and divinity is so highly advanced in its intelligence, it already knows what's in our mind and even what's in our heart. So while prayer is important, it turns us toward the higher consciousness. Meditation, and it allows us to talk to the divine. Meditation is the yin, the feminine aspect of receiving, of listening to the divine. Prayer involves the mind. We're still functioning with the mind when we pray. We're thinking about what we want and what we're asking for. And meditation goes beyond the mind. This little poem touches on that. It's called The Calf Path. I don't know why it touches me so deeply. It's very childlike, and I want us to have some fun today, interacting, co-creating, and being like children here on Earth, exploring this fascinating world. So here's the poem, The Calf Path. One day, through the primeval wood, a calf walked home as good calves should, but made a trail all bent askew, a crooked trail as all calves do. Since then, 300 years have fled, and I infer the calf is dead. But still, he left behind his trail, and thereby hangs my moral tale. The trail was taken up next day by a lone dog that passed that way. And then a wise bellwether sheep pursued the trail o'er vale and steep, and drew the flock behind him too, as good bellwethers always do. And from that day, o'er hill and glade, through those old woods, a path was made. And many men wound in and out, and dodged and turned and bent about, and uttered words of righteous wrath, because 'twas such a crooked path. But still they followed, do not laugh, the first migrations of that calf. And through this winding wood way stalked, because he wobbled when he walked. This forest path became a lane that bent and turned again. This crooked lane became a road where many a poor horse with his load toiled on beneath the burning sun and traveled some 3 miles in one. And thus a century and a half they trod the footsteps of that calf. The years passed on in swiftness fleet. The road became a village street. And this, before men were aware, a city's crowded thoroughfare. Soon the central street was this of a renowned metropolis, and men 2 centuries and a half trod in the footsteps of that calf. Each day 100,000 rout followed the zigzag calf about, and o'er his crooked journey went the traffic of a continent. 100,000 men were led by one calf near 3 centuries dead. They followed still his crooked way and lost 100 years a day. For thus such reverence is lent to well-established precedent. A moral lesson this might teach were I ordained and called to preach. For men are prone to go it blind along the calf paths of the mind and work away from sun to sun to do what other men have done. They follow in that beaten track and out and in and forth and back, and still their devious course pursue to keep the path that others do. They keep the path, a sacred groove along which all their lives they move. But how the wise old wood gods laugh, who saw the first primeval calf. Ah, many things this tale might teach, but alas, I am not ordained to preach. So there we have it. The prayer is using our mind to speak, to call out to higher divine energies, to the Great Spirit. But meditation is going above and beyond the mind, going beyond the calf path of the mind, because the mind follows a very circuitous route. So if you'll sit comfortably with your back straight but not stiff, and if you have any devices, phones or computers that might make notification sounds or might ring to disturb you, you could silence them now. Close your eyes very gently and just feel the weight of your body on your seat. See if you can reframe that experience of weightiness as a strong embrace from Gaia, from Mother Earth. She's holding your body close to her breast, keeping you safe. Just surrender to that strong embrace of Mother Earth's gravitational force. And let your body sink into effortless stillness. Krishnamurti suggested the highest form of human intelligence is observation without evaluation, observation without judgment. So simply observe what's going on as you walk through this very simple meditation process. Take a slow, gentle breath, expanding your belly as you breathe in crystal clear healing energy and light. Exhale slowly and silently as you relax your feet and legs, relax your hips, buttocks, pelvis, and waist. Another slow, gentle breath, breathing in brilliant white healing light. And let that light go to every cell of your body, first into your lungs and then through the bloodstream to every part of your body, which is the temple. Exhale as you relax your spine, lower, middle, and upper back. The human body is the temple made by the divine hands, and we are each residing in our own individual temples. Take another slow breath, breathing in silver healing light as you expand only your belly. Breathing in an awareness of the power of choice you have. You always are at choice as to where and how you focus your loving attention. Your loving attention being the expression of your soul in the body. Exhaling slowly, silently, relax your stomach and chest. Relax your hands, arms, and shoulders. Breathe in silver healing light. As you breathe in pure conscious awareness, becoming aware of the deep internal part of your temple, your body, becoming aware of all your internal organs and organ systems. As you exhale, allow them to relax deeply and completely. Your vital organs, all your organ systems. Breathe in golden light now, golden healing light, deep into your lungs, breathing in effortless awareness of spirit, of your soul. Exhale as you relax your face and eyes, relax your head, relax your brain, relax your mind. And breathe at your own pace. Just observe any subtle shifts or changes that have gone on in your body. Bring your attention now to your heart center, just behind your physical heart, and breathe some loving attention deep into your heart chakra, becoming aware of the bright green light that's already shining there. No need to visualize or imagine it. As you exhale, let your awareness of that green light expand throughout your body, extend it out to everyone else on the call today. Pure, unconditional love, acceptance, knowing that you are enough, that at the soul level you are perfect, impeccable. And following this bright green light from your heart chakra as it radiates and shines upward, follow it up to your higher heart at the top of your chest. And then follow it up to the throat chakra where the green light turns to azure blue. Take a slow, gentle breath into the throat chakra, breathing in an awareness of this brilliant blue light, the light of truthfulness. As you exhale, let your awareness of that blue light expand outward, at least 15 feet all around you, above you, below you, 360 degrees around you, surrounding yourself in the light of truthfulness. And bringing your attention back into the throat chakra, follow that beautiful blue light as it shines upward to the middle of your forehead, where it turns a deep, dark purple, indigo color. As I said before, there's no need to visualize or imagine any of these colors or these energies, because they're constantly, as long as we're alive in the body, they're constantly there. They're constantly shining. Our awareness of them may not be fully focused, but in meditation, we start to become aware of these lights and colors and energies that are already there. Take a slow, gentle breath, breathing some loving awareness into the middle of your forehead, into the middle of this brilliant, mysterious purplish indigo light. As you exhale, relax your forehead, relax your third eye, relax your pineal or pineal gland. The third eye is most of the time tightly closed because our attention is going down and out through the mind and the senses into the physical world. But in this type of meditation, we're reversing the flow of our attention, not going down and out into the world, but going inward, deep into the temple of the body and rising upward through the chakras to the highest chakra within, the highest major chakra within the physical body, which is right at the base of your forehead, between and slightly above the two eyebrows. With your physical eyelids gently closed, you see nothing in the outside world. But your spiritual eye, your sixth chakra, is capable of seeing into the realms of spirit. And the first experience is usually that of deep darkness, empty space, nothingness, the void, the great void that is spoken of in Buddhism. Gaze lovingly with your fully focused, loving attention into the very middle of that empty space or darkness. Find the center point in the darkness and focus your attention there. As if you were looking about 8 to 10 inches ahead of you. The exact distance is not important. And even though you may see only darkness, cloudiness, or nothing, embrace that. Remember, highest form of human intelligence is observation without evaluation. It may appear like darkness or emptiness or nothingness, but there's so much more than that. Within, interwoven into the darkness, is the light of spirit, the light of the great spirit, light of the universal creative spirit, the infinite ocean of light. It has infinite intelligence. If you'd like, you can choose a calming word or a divine name or mantra and repeat that from a place deep in your heart. Repeat it with love, with reverence, through the back of your mind, so you're not actually saying it with your tongue, but just with the tongue of thought. Call out this calming word, divine name, or mantra with all the love in your heart. Because deep in the heart, it is said by mystics, there is a hidden desire in all human beings to tread this path of return to the light. It's been a very long journey through many forms, many incarnations, down into the physical realm. Meditation is the first step on the return journey, the homecoming for your soul. So call out your calming word, your mantra, your divine name with reverence and love, longing and yearning and pining for reconnection, for return to the ocean of light within you. The mind will send you just all kinds of little thoughts in between your calming word, your mantra. When the mind does that, if the mind is restless, just have compassion for the mind. Observe the mind without judging it, without being distracted, annoyed, or agitated, and just thank your mind. It's functioning just the way it's designed to. And it's helping you to know, it's letting you know that not all of your attention is 100% absorbed into your inner vision. So when you hear these little thoughts coming from your mind, don't try to stop or block your mind. Just thank it and pull your attention away from the thought and refocus it a little deeper, a little more lovingly, a little more penetratingly into that mysterious darkness right in front of you. And as you bring more and more of your loving attention to be absorbed into your inner vision, your inner eye, your sixth chakra, your third eye may relax a bit and begin to open just a tiny bit to let little shards of light or color into your consciousness. If you see any light, shapes, colors, circles of light, anything at all, images, scenes, just relax and enjoy them and continue to gaze right into the very heart, right into the exact center of whatever comes up. Let go of all preconceived notions of what you've seen before or what you want to see or what you think meditation should be. Be innocent like a little child gazing for the first time up into the midnight sky, and with a sense of wonder, embracing every moment, moment to moment awareness. Be open and receptive to receive whatever spirit wants to give you. As more and more of your tender, loving attention becomes clearly focused into the inner realms, you start to enter into a state of flow, which feels effortless, even though you are making a subtle effort to focus your attention deeply and penetratingly like a laser beam into that space, into that sacred space before you. It feels almost effortless as your awareness, your soul currents begin to merge into the light. And as we enter into the inner realms of consciousness, we start to remember the attributes of the soul, which is what we truly are. We are not just these bodies or these minds. These are all temporary states, temporary gifts. The attributes of the soul are many. The soul is ageless and timeless, has the attribute of fearlessness and immortality. Nothing can end your soul, nothing can harm it. It's the physical and emotional bodies that are very vulnerable to harm, but the soul is not. Another attribute of the soul is selflessness. It enjoys tremendously helping others when we have capacity to do so and the willingness, helping someone who is truly in need or a cause that is in need. Of course, the soul also has the attribute of unconditional love and non-violence. If all the world leaders and all the military leaders and all the terrorists would come together and practice meditation like this, we would see a miraculous, seemingly miraculous shift in the state of humankind. All the wars would cease. All the violent thoughts would be healed. The soul also has the attribute of wisdom, built deeply into the heart. And in meditation, the mind becomes focused and more quiet so that our minds can hear the whispers of wisdom from the heart. And we can follow that wisdom to make our lives more fulfilling, more wise. And lastly, the soul has the attribute of connectedness to all beings and all things, and the attribute of humility. So when you're ready, you can gently move your fingers and toes to bring your attention back into the physical body, the physical temple. And gently bringing yourself back down here to the physical plane. I left out the attribute of bliss. One of the attributes of the soul is bliss, and sometimes we feel so much bliss in this type of meditation on the inner light that we don't want to come out of it. That's perfectly okay, perfectly understandable. Bliss brings instant relief from all feelings of sadness, grief, depression, and the attribute of connectedness to all beings and all things brings instant relief from feelings of loneliness, despair, disconnection, depression, isolation. So when you feel ready, you can gently come back into your body and back into the Zoom room. We will zoom on into this subject of soul astrology. And welcome, Juanita. I'm so glad you were able to join us today. And Camila. Oh, good. Someone found the Calf Path link and put it in the chat in case anyone is interested. It's a lovely childlike poem, and for some reason it always gets me right here. I want to weep as I read it. It's so tender and simple and childlike. It's so true, and it explains why there's so much struggle and misery in the world, because we are, many of us, following the calf path rather blindly through life. And we need to open the third eye to see the more direct path back toward the light. I'm going to share a link in the chat to the gene keys, just in case anyone is curious about them, because I might touch on that lightly today. So I will call up first chart that we have. Just by way of introduction, there are many different styles of astrology. There are at least 3 different major schools of astrology. There's Chinese astrology, which I'll touch on a little later. There's Hindu or Vedic astrology, which is very ancient, like the Chinese astrology. And then there's the more modern Western astrology, which is what I am most familiar with. And there were dozens of ancient forms of astrology before these 3 became formulated. Ancient Persian astrology, Egyptian astrology, Greek astrology, there are several others, and each one has its own strengths. Each one shows certain aspects of the human life. And the way I see the world and the universe, this physical world, is like a quartz wall clock. I have one on my kitchen wall. It has a quartz movement with a little battery, has the clock face and the hands of the clock. The way this world works, according to me, is that the vast majority of us, most of the time, are just looking at the hands of the clock, the outer side of this physical world. We just want to know what time it is and what we need to do at what time. We all have limited amounts of time in these bodies on this earth. And so we're just striving and struggling to get accomplished what we can, try to have fun as well, and try to get as much richness into our life as we possibly can. Try to avoid suffering. That's just looking at the face of the clock. We have no clue what lies behind it, but people who are into the occult arts and sciences such as astrology and I Ching and tarot and so forth, and the gene keys and human design and Kabbalah, people who delve into those disciplines and study them are the people who look behind the face of the clock, behind the hands of the clock. They look to the gears of the movement. They study and they see there are certain cycles and patterns that repeat themselves, and there's just a very accurate design, the size of these gears and how they fit together. This is what astrology is. We're looking behind the face of the clock. And even fewer still people look behind that to the actual quartz movement and the battery, the power that is powering this clock. That is what the mystics do. That's what meditation on the light and sound is, looking behind the face of the clock, behind the gears. You don't have to become an expert in astrology or I Ching or tarot or human design or gene keys. You can look behind all of it, behind everything, to the very source, the power that runs it all. And that is the ultimate shortcut to enlightenment, to nirvana, to self-realization. So I will go ahead and open one chart that I have, which is White Feather's chart, and see what we can see. And if you want me to share a screen, Meenakshi, I'll go ahead and do that. It's telling me that you're still sharing your screen, Meenakshi, so I'll wait till you're done sharing.
Oh, it's because of the music. I've stopped it now.
Okay. That was beautiful music. All right. So here we are. White Feather, this is you. I don't know how familiar you are with reading astrology birth charts and natal charts, but this is if you went to the city where you were born at the exact time that your umbilical cord was cut, and you looked up into the heavens and saw where all the planets were and where all the houses were. This is a snapshot of the heavens. It's your soul star map from the Western astrology perspective. It's a little different in Hindu Vedic astrology, and it's also different in the Chinese astrological system. But here we see Libra rising. Oh, look, and Mars right in the first house. Look at that, Neptune right on the ascendant. Wow. Let me just take a look at where exactly your Neptune is. 11 degrees Libra. So Neptune is in your 12th house near the ascendant, and Ixion is right on the ascendant. Going to do a bit of research on the fly to remind myself of the meaning of the asteroid Ixion. Perhaps I'll get to that a little later. So people who are born with the rising sign is, if you look from the place of your birth, at the time of your birth, if you looked east to the horizon, the constellation Libra was on the horizon, right in the middle of it, 13 degrees. This is a sign of someone who relates to the outside world very much through relationship, through caring about what the other person thinks and feels and what their needs are. Very considerate, poised, kind, and people with Libra rising, especially women born with Libra rising, are beautiful, graceful, and beautiful. And people see us from the ascendant. They see us from the outside by virtue of the qualities of our ascendant. So people would have had a tendency to see you, White Feather, as someone who's relationship oriented, considerate, kind, beautiful, and graceful, and very fair minded. Because Mars is in Libra, right in the first house, that would have given you a lot of energy to try to bring peace where you saw conflict. I don't know if that rings true with you, but people with Mars and Libra, especially in the first house, they are right there. They don't necessarily shy away from conflict. They try to be the peacemaker. Does that sound like you?
Yes, that sounds like me.
Hmm. Let's see. And doing that would have brought you some emotional turmoil because of this challenging angle to your moon in the third house and a square to Venus up in the ninth house. So you may have jumped in to try to make peace and gotten embroiled or hurt in the process, but your intentions were only good. Does that sound like?
That does.
Yeah. Now, as we move on from the well, actually staying here with Mars, see, it makes a blue line is a positive or easy angle. A red line is a more challenging, difficult one. So you see how your Mars has a blue line going right up here to your Sun and your Mercury and your Saturn. So it shows that your energy, Mars is your energy. It's your motivation to go out. First house is to go out to seek what you want in the world. And it's very much in harmony with your Sun, the way the core of your personality, which is Leo, which is the big heart, the generous one, the one who wants to share. They love attention because they need people's attention to share all that they want to share from their heart.
It sounds like me. Yeah.
And Mercury is right there as well, making a positive angle to your Mars so that you'll have a lot of energy and flow to share your thoughts, to communicate your ideas, especially in the 11th house, which is the house of like this, groups of people with high ideals, spiritual groups, humanitarian groups, groups of friends. So while they see you from the outside as, Libra, charming, graceful, beautiful, wanting peace, wanting beauty, wanting harmony, there's the key word, harmony. Someone who's very diplomatic. At the core of your personality, however, is Leo in the 11th house. Leo is big-hearted, generous, loving to share. It's in the 11th house, which is the house of groups of high-minded, idealistic people with high motivations, with humanitarian motivations, spiritual motivations. And the 11th house is ruled by the sign Aquarius, which is also the rebel. So on the surface, people see you, here's this gentle, beautiful soul, wants to bring peace and make peace. And at your core, you have royal energy. Leo is the queen, the king, royalty. And you're bringing that royal energy sort of into a rebellious house, the 11th house. Can't we all just get along? Can't we all just be equal here? What's stopping us? We have everything we need. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm telling you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
all there. Let's do this, people. We can do this. Yeah.
I didn't have anybody to listen.
Mm. Sometimes it appears that nobody is really listening, but through the ethers, those vibes sometimes get out there anyway. And as we move on into the second house, this is the house of your material belongings, your possessions, your sense of self-worth based upon your physical appearance and your talents and your skills, your money, your material things of value. And it's in the sign of Scorpio, which is very deep, tense feelings around money, material things, and your sense of self-worth as connected to your skills, your competency. And you've got Chiron, the asteroid of the wounded healer, in that second house in Scorpio. So that wherever Chiron is, that's where you have been wounded in past lifetimes, or maybe earlier in this life, with issues around money and material things and self-worth, talents and skills. And you're able to help other people who have had similar wounds. They come to you and you completely get it. You understand what they're going through. You can help them. You can heal them, in fact. And then they skip along, maybe grateful, but they don't usually take the time to say thank you. I don't know if you've had that experience.
Yes. Yeah.
And it could even involve offering financial help or giving things of value or sharing your time and talents and skills selflessly. And they're like, oh, this is great, but they don't fully appreciate it. It's almost like a karmic thing. You were destined to help those people in that way, and they hadn't learned the lesson of gratitude yet. They will. And then we move on to the third house in Sagittarius. Oh, this is interesting here. Jupiter in Sagittarius, that's its home sign. It's very expansive. Jupiter is the planet of gigantic. Have you ever seen how big Jupiter is? I think it's probably the biggest planet in our entire solar system. Even with a Tesla, I don't think you could drive across it in less than a lifetime. It's that big.
Wow.
And so it expands us, and it's in your third house of talking, communication, sharing ideas, sharing information, sharing detailed ideas, and your philosophy. It's a very philosophical planet. It wants to teach, it wants to share, it wants to broadcast. And it's in the sign of Sag. So Jupiter in its own sign is like, listen to me. I'm telling you, this is the truth. It's the sign of it. It's the truth teller, the philosopher, truth teller, teacher, and it aims for the highest level of moral consciousness. So wherever Jupiter is and Sag, it's hard for us to rein it in. Like people will say, oh my gosh, you talk too much, you talk too long, right? You're saying too much. I'm overwhelmed. I can't take it. Have you had that experience?
Yes.
It's because Jupiter just wants to expand. It doesn't see it's almost unlimited. It's so vast. And that's you're just trying to reflect your inner experience through your mind and your words. You want to teach, you want to lift people up with the highest moral principles. And when they don't seem to get it, you just want to tell them more, right? Because they're not taking it in. They don't seem to get it. So you keep trying to get to connect with them. And so many people have limited capacity for connection, unfortunately. And here we have the moon also in your third house. So that means you have a deep unconscious need to talk, to communicate, to teach, to share your thoughts, ideas, and information. And if you don't feel happy. You get a deep subconscious happiness that you're not even aware of that you need. when you do talk and share openly and freely. And moon is in the sign of Capricorn, so this especially, it becomes more true. Capricorn implies structures. It also implies age. Capricorn rules older people and older things. So as you get older, you really have a need to share your ideas and your thoughts and your information. And if you don't share it, especially those things having to do with structure, restructuring society, restructuring the world, restructuring humanity, changing laws. Capricorn is the law. And if you don't share that, then you feel unhappy. So it's very important for you. I don't know, does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of, well, especially in my family, they didn't really want to hear from me.
They shut you down.
Yeah, so yeah. So I just was sort of like an entity unto myself.
Right. So the moon is what you need to feel deep, unconscious levels of happiness and fulfillment. Venus is what you consciously love. And here we have Venus completely opposite your moon. Fortunately, it's not a real tight opposition. Venus is about 8 degrees. Moon is, oh, actually it is perfect opposition. 8 degrees Capricorn, 8 degrees Cancer. So this would imply that you consciously love, you don't have any problem loving. Ninth house is exotic philosophies, ancient exotic teachings, philosophies, truths, morality, and you just love that. And Cancer is very sensitive, becoming sensitive to your own needs for those things, a need to absorb the wisdom from faraway lands or ancient lands and peoples. And you would just absolutely love that consciously. Like you can't get enough, right?
Mm-hmm. I had to sort of search out. Now I have people in my life that are more like I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm finally having that
Mm-hmm.
nurture me in a way that
Yes.
I haven't had before.
That nurturing is so important. You absolutely love that. I'm glad you found those people who can nurture you in that way because that's something that really lights you up. And
All of you.
and then moving on to the fourth house. Your fourth house is in Capricorn. This is an asteroid. This here is a little asteroid, which is almost like catnip. Pholus is an idea or a concept or a notion that you have about family life or home, family life, the house, the real estate, your family, or your we have our biological family, right? That sometimes doesn't get us at all, and then we have our logical family, which is this group here.
Mm-hmm.
And Pholus is an asteroid that indicates you have some almost intoxicating idea or notion that you associate with your either your biological family or your chosen family, your logical family, that you just it's intoxicating to you. Like, have you ever seen a cat playing with catnip?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
like that. That
Mm-hmm.
there's something about Capricorn. It's work, changing structures, um, finding structures, finding work that really turns you on in terms of your the sense of family or community.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I started dancing when I was 3, and that was like fed me.
Yeah.
I needed that to add that. And I've danced for years in different
Wow.
capacities and taught dancing for
Really?
children and I was a seamstress. I did a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Um,
But those are, see, fourth house is the home and family. It's nurturing and maternal energy. So teaching children to dance, that's pretty nurturing and almost maternal. Seamstressing is, mom, you didn't often see the dad sewing clothes on the homestead, right? In the old days, it was usually the mom. So there it is. You were drawn to these nurturing fourth house kinds of activities. And it involved work. Capricorn is work. So teaching dance is work. Being a seamstress is very detailed work.
yes, my daughter even, I made my daughter's wedding dress,
Oh, wow.
which is, I think a person that age to ask their mom to do that was such a blessing that for me, just to know my daughter, wanted that from me.
Oh, yeah, that's touching. Very
Yeah.
touching, deeply touching. Here we have your part of fortune in the fifth house and Lilith in the fifth house and Pisces. Let's see. 4 degrees Pisces in retrograde. So that's your creative house, being creative, having fun, taking chances, being lighthearted and fancy free, and also seeking true love through, when we're younger and we're dating around and we're trying to understand what true love is, we're trying to find romance and partner. And so with this particular asteroid in this placement, it would imply that anytime someone, if you were like, let's say dating, in search of true love in dating, anyone who would try to tell you what to do or limit your freedoms, you wouldn't have it. You weren't looking for someone to be controlling or to tell you to obey. This this asteroid is named after the first creation before Eve was created out of Adam's rib. This character was created out of the earth, and she was told to obey Adam and to, do everything for him. And she said, "Hell no!" She just got out of there. And having it in Pisces would have given you tremendous compassion and sensitivity and selflessness in dating. Like you really wanted to be compassionate and help them, heal them, and but the moment they would try to restrict your freedoms or tell you you had to obey and you had to serve them, you were done, right?
Mm.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
the
it.
first marriage didn't last very long, but I got my daughter.
Yes, what a gift.
Mm.
Now, over here we have in your seventh house, Aries. This is another asteroid. It's called Juno, and that is these asteroids were named after Greek goddesses and gods, ancient figures from mythology. And Juno was the goddess of the perfect spouse, the ideal spouse. And you've got it right on the cusp, which is a very sensitive point of your house of partnership, of marriage. The seventh house is like going beyond searching for true love through dating. And this is like settling down and making a committed relationship. And with Juno right there, it's like in Aries, you wanted to be the leader, but you wanted to lead and be the perfect spouse. You wanted to take care of everything. I don't know does that sound like you?
It was interesting because I, he had a different way of wanting to live his life, and mine was leading toward my Native American journey, and he didn't believe in any of that. So, so unfortunately, he's always been my one love, but I we couldn't be together.
Well, another thing with the seventh house cusp in Aries, Aries is explorative. It loves to have total independence and freedom, lots of space. And so you would have like, for you, the perfect spouse would be someone who would love to explore with you and travel or explore these other ideas about reality and life and community and all of that, spirituality. Perhaps if you'd found someone who was leading you in that direction, it would have been perfect. She would have been the ideal spouse for them. But you really needed that independence and freedom yourself to pursue the higher learning, the spiritual learning that called your soul.
Yeah, my guidance was every 7 years, because in the Native culture, we live by the seven. You know, the 4 directions: within, without, above, below, within, without, and that's what I was doing. And he was very Christian, and he didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, that must have been really frustrating and hard for you, like that you didn't feel a sense of that freedom, like he wasn't supporting you in that way.
He had a lot of really, really good qualities that brought us together. But that's, religion is a hard thing to, because they're all so different. And so I just thought it was better it was better, because he couldn't deal with me changing what I was doing every 7 years. And that's what Spirit had me doing.
Oh.
I did many different jobs so I could learn what the world was about.
Yes. Let me take a look at your north node, the true node. Let's see. North node is, where is it? True node, there it is. 5 degrees Taurus. So the opposite of Taurus is Scorpio. So this suggests that in a recent past life or in past lifetimes, you highly developed your capacity to go out into the world and to explore and see through all the bullshit. You weren't impressed necessarily with wealth or beauty or external things, but you had highly developed an ability to explore the world, to look at people and see who they really are, the way they treat people, how they are at their core. And you develop that very highly. And it's in the first house. You were fiercely independent, right? You insisted on absolute freedom to go out and make your way in the world, and you were very passionate about that. Scorpio is very, very intense, passionate, and you wanted to transform the world. You wanted to transform yourself. You wanted deep experiences and absolute freedom and independence to be able to do that. And you developed that very highly. You have that to this day. You don't need to develop it any further. But to balance, because it's so highly developed, the total opposite of that balances it. And that is to develop or to move toward Taurus is paying more attention to the physical, your senses, appearances, what people have, their skills, their talents. And it's in the 7th house of marriage and partnership, committed marriage. It's right near the edge of the eighth house, which is about merging with another person, even beyond marriage. It doesn't necessarily have to be a legal marriage, but like a really deep merger with another entity, with another person, or perhaps with an organization or a group or a religion or a spirituality, and getting your sense of self-worth from that merger. I don't know if that, does that make any sense?
Yeah, it was actually every 7 years.
Mm.
Spirit, I would be led to something else. It led to
Mm.
I've just done so many things, different things in my life. I was a firefighter. I
Oh.
learned all kinds of things about life that I was very innocent about. I didn't know anything about. So it's like they just took me to these different places so I could learn what life was about.
Mm.
And it was easy. Then I could relate to it in this specific way each time. And then when I started on my Native American journey, I was recuperating from an illness, and I heard white feather at the
Mm.
door, at my door. And I turned around to look to see who was there because it was just so plain. There was somebody standing in my doorway, but there wasn't anybody there.
Mm.
And so all these different things, like my girlfriend who lived in Ojai and I lived in in California. And she said, I don't know if you can see it from where you are, but there's this huge white feather in the clouds. She said, I don't
Mm.
know if you can see it. And she didn't know that that had happened. And so all these things would happen in my life to show me that I was being guided. And so I just listened to whatever those things were.
Interesting. Well, yeah, your north node, that this is the north node of the moon, is suggesting also that in following that kind of guidance, it's very important to pay attention to your senses. Like, for instance, your friend saw a white feather image in the cloud. That's the sense of sight. You heard, that's the sense of hearing, right? You heard that word, white feather, at your door. So this is the kind of thing that is helping to balance out the past life, highly developed scorpionic energy into a more Taurian. Taurus is the physical senses, the physical body, sense of sight, hearing, taste, touch, and sound, and so forth. And also, it's very earthy. Native American spirituality is largely connected to the earth as well, right?
Yes.
Honoring the earth, loving the earth, and really sensing it, feeling it. So that has been very helpful to you in finding your soul purpose and your direction, because it balances out the maybe overdeveloped areas from the past. And now you're becoming more whole, more balanced.
Mm-hmm.
1948. Let me just look up something here in a book. Okay, so you were born in the year of the rat, the Chinese year of the rat.
Yes.
And your element in the Chinese system was earth, earth element. That's interesting. That's also very earthy, like this sign Taurus. Here it's this little asteroid is suggesting that Nessus is the image of a person walking along a ledge with a blindfold on. So they're scaling some heights, but they are not, they just need to watch their step, be careful. And it's in your eighth house in Taurus. So that implies other, tying in your sense of self-worth with other people's sense of self-worth, or perhaps other people's money, material goods. You have to be careful with that. And then if we skip up here to Uranus, that's the Aquarian planet. It's in, I believe, the tail end of Gemini. See, Uranus, 29 degrees Gemini, critical degree of Gemini in your ninth house. So there again, Uranus is the planet of the brilliant rebel who is like, can't we have it? We have everything. Can't we all just work this out together? It's all right here. Let's come down off our high horses and let's empower everyone to contribute. And we have all the information. Gemini is the information. We want to, ninth house is teaching again. So here, we see it down here in the third house and up in the ninth house. You have this rebellious energy. You want to change. You want to cause a reformation or a revolution even, but a peaceful one so that everyone benefits.
Yes. Hopefully that's what we're leading toward.
Yeah. And here we have another interesting asteroid, Orcus, which is the same word that comes from, that is used at the root of the flower, the orchid, and also orca whales. Orcus was a mythological figure who punished people in the underworld who did not make good on their promises, who broke their oaths, who didn't keep their word. So I don't know if, I'm not saying you punished anyone, but you may have wanted to punish people in this area of teaching, of philosophy, of sharing information in a rebellious way. If you came across people who promised they would help, or they made an oath that they're going to do this and that, and they didn't, you would have wanted to really give it to them.
I think it was hard for me to understand why someone would do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's see there. Let me share something from the Chinese astrology perspective, since you were born in the year of the rat, which is excellent. Rats are excellent networkers. Let's see. The earth rat. I'm going to read a brief paragraph describing the earth rat and see if it sounds like you. I find it's usually about 90% accurate, but not completely. Let's find that chapter of the rat. This is a great little book. A friend gave it to me 25 years ago, and I still use it to this day. Here we go. So the earth rat. Tell me, just ask me to pause if you want to add anything to anything it says here, or if you want to say, well, that doesn't quite sound like me. The earth rat matures early. For her, happiness and contentment are found in order, discipline, and above all, security. She will strive to develop her positive traits and be recognized for her talents. She's realistic and not at all given to flashy dreams and expectations. She likes to maintain good relations with everyone and prefers to work in one place where she will have loyal friends for a while. She can zero in on one subject at a time and is thorough in her work. She can also be so achievement-oriented that at times she may get lost in it, in seeking achievement. This person cares a great deal for her reputation and public image, but she is warm and protective toward those she loves. She has high material expectations and is always comparing her degree of success with contemporaries. At times, she may become over practical and, from the page, and very cautious with money and material resources. This is a rat who does not like much to gamble and rarely takes big chances. She sticks to proven rules and modes of operation and expects those who work with her to do exactly the same. As a result, her fortunes will increase slowly but surely. And then because, see, the hour of your birth is 9:25 a.m., let's have a look at your Chinese ascendant. Okay, so 9:25 a.m. Okay, your Chinese ascendant is the hour of the snake. With the snake ascendant, it gives you immense appeal to others. You will have hordes of admirers, but the snake could also make you somewhat secretive and introspective. You're charming, intelligent, and inscrutable where your emotions are concerned. Other people find it hard to read your emotions.
Mm.
It may be hard for others to read you. It has to do with that snake mystique. You love your privacy and will not explain your motives necessarily to others. They will just have to accept you the way you are. And isn't that what we all want? We all want unconditional acceptance of us
Yes.
just the way we are.
I think I didn't let what people did to me to outweigh just being who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's great. So, any other comments or questions, White Feather?
No, it sort of it sounds like me. I always sort of did whatever you want to say, this God, my guides, whatever you want to call,
Mm-hmm.
comes to you, or who is part of our daily routine and who's in our head, kind of thing. I usually don't hold a grudge. I just let it pass and try to love the person and do what I can do to help if there's something I can help. And I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I
There's one
there
more
was a lot of
astro.
turmoil in growing up, and I didn't feel like my grandmother loved me or people really understood me or anything like that. So
Mm.
I was just sort of by myself, I think, a lot. And
Mm. That's kind of hard.
yeah, I
There's
had my
one.
so I was a seamstress. I did a lot of different things, and I sort of enjoyed those things. So I sewed all the clothes for my daughter when she was little, and different things like that. So maybe I put my attention into her, which sometimes she would go like, "Stop," when she got older.
Yeah, well, I noticed one other asteroid here called Eros, Eros. It's in Leo in your 10th house of work and career. So Eros is what we're attracted to. You may have been very attracted to these various types of jobs and careers and work, almost like you felt a pull toward them. It could also mean that you found people that you worked with or near very attractive. That some of your dating or relationships you may have been drawn to them through your work somehow or your place of work.
Yeah. I didn't really have a whole lot of relationships, but I just listened to my guidance a lot.
Well, I saw a hand go up from Meenakshi.
Yes. I was wondering because in the past you have asked if any of us have anything to share, because I know White Feather and how she is in co-creator circle. Do you want to do that also, or we can do that privately later?
Oh, sure. Yeah, if anyone wants
Because
to.
I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and White Feather, is it okay if I ask the question about you?
Yes.
Okay. We can't see you first. Can you come on video if you want to?
I don't know. I mean, I'm on, I think.
Maybe physically you have turned it off. Yeah, now we can see you.
It's open. I'm just not.
Now we
let's
see you.
Yeah, now we can see you. So I wanted to know because, Steve, in the chart, if there's something about this balance, because I know that when White Feather is in some of our groups, like the intention groups, she's very firm about what she thinks should be done. And usually when we go round and each person says what is there, she's very clear about the words and the intention behind them. Like, and very often I find that we all change according to that, so that inner teacher is very present. But she's not so for example, earlier we used to say co-create a circle to benefit all beings, and she said, why are you just saying beings? It should be all. And so we changed the tagline to co-create a circle's mission is to whatever we do is to benefit all.
The
So
planet and everything, yeah.
yeah, but what is it that stops her? What I feel in other meetings is that this balance of wanting to be nurtured and wanting to teach. So usually what wins is the wanting to be nurtured and not the one that wants to teach, because I keep telling her that you have so much to teach. I would love you to come and present and and have teaching kind of sessions. And so far she hasn't done it. So I'm wondering if something shows what it is that that holds her back, in case that can help her and help co-create a circle.
I see. Yes, I did touch on that some, but to clarify it, she does, Venus, White Feather, you do love to be nurtured in the ninth house of teachings and to receive teachings, especially teachings from faraway lands or from ancient times, mystical teachings. Absolutely consciously loves that and enjoys it. It's in the sign of Cancer, loves to be nurtured and cared for and all of that. But there is a need here to do the work. Capricorn is work, and the third house is speaking, teaching, sharing ideas, information, details, thoughts. But the thing with the moon that, like you said, Meenakshi, is it sometimes it blocks us, is the moon is unconscious. I'll give you an example. People tell me, oh, Steve, you're so gentle and you're so kind, you're so patient, you're so understanding. But my moon is in Aries, in the 10th house, and Aries moon is impatient, right? Like I want right away. I don't want to sit around and wait, and I want to get right to the point. But it's the moon, it's the unconscious. So I'm not usually conscious of how impatient I am. It comes out when I'm behind the wheel of a car. I start driving like Mario Andretti and I'll weave. And, when you're in a vehicle, sometimes your unconscious becomes more conscious. And so, White Feather, your moon in Capricorn, there's a deep unconscious need to work, to build some kind of structures, that allow you to speak, your mind to teach, to share. With this Jupiter in there in the third house is the the morality teacher. It's expansive, and Sagittarius is to be teaching about higher laws, or higher education, higher laws, morality, and how to relate, how to speak. You could even do workshops on how to approach this, how to speak to people about these things that you want to share. But because it's your moon, it's unconscious. You're not aware of your need to create those structures and to do that work around speaking and teaching. So what I find, it's so funny, White Feather, because you and I have the same configuration. We have the same opposition. My moon is over here in my 4th house, and my Venus is over here in my 10th house. So I love being in my 4th house, being home, comfortable, having potato chips and dip and TV on and all that kind of stuff. But my moon is up here in the 10th. And it's in Aries, I need to get out and do like what I'm doing here, to do 10th house is work. It's Capricorn, it's career, it's being seen in public. I need to do it. I don't particularly like doing it. Like I had to psych myself up even to do these workshops these webinars that I'm doing, but I need it. And then as I'm doing it, I realize, oh wow, this is great. And afterwards, I'll feel really fulfilled, because it's a deep need, the unconscious need in the moon. So it's the kind of thing that you sometimes you just nudge yourself, or you say, I don't really love the idea, but I'm going to do it anyway because my moon is there. I do need to build those structures and find those ways that I can work to share all these ideas and teachings. And it's not always easy, and sometimes it doesn't go perfectly, but it's very fulfilling, and it brings a deep sense of emotional and unconscious happiness, because it's the moon.
And it is what will nurture you. I'm not an astrologer. I can't read a chart, but I just feel that sometimes when we do the opposite of what we think we want, especially since you said the unconscious need, if we keep wanting the same thing again and again, like nurturing, if you're nurtured, you're nurtured. The need should be satisfied and closed. But if it's not, it's because the inner need, which is actually to teach, is not being expressed. And that's what I feel with White Feather. And many things that you said, Steve, are the kind of thing that I think I feel also, I'd rather just be sitting and having my whatever, maybe doing my writing or something. And we all psych ourselves to come out here because we feel that connection and the how important and necessary it is. And then we feel that sense of satisfaction and like you said, happiness. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to White Feather coming on and teaching on this platform.
I think you've just been offered a job, White Feather. You've just been recruited.
I'm going to say one more thing, Steve, before we move on. I asked Vanita on the side, I don't know if she saw my message or not, whether she had sent you her chart. I guess she didn't. Also, I'm seeing that we've been here for an hour and a half. So I feel that I don't know if you want to read another chart, or do you want to close this session and have another session for another chart? I think that might be better. We can close one.
Yeah, did we say this would be 90 minutes, this session? Or did we say 2 hours? I can't remember.
Well, we still have, I can be here, but I'm just wondering if everyone would like it closed, and then we can decide.
I just want to honor whatever we said in the ad. And
yeah, you're right.
If it said 90 minutes, then I agree with you. Time to wrap up.
What did you think, how long it was for? Did it say White Feather?
I think it said for 2 hours, but I don't know what that meant, because I don't know, I didn't know what was going to be presented.
I'm pretty sure it did say 2 hours.
Perfect. Okay, good. So we are still on.
Yeah, so anything else, White Feather, that comes to mind as you reflect on all this? What are your thoughts about teaching and jumping in?
And
Uh,
also, sorry, just interrupting for a minute. It will be nice. We could have the chart off if you want now, because I would love White Feather's face to be there. If you could just say what you felt about the reading and what something new, something you already know. It would be great if you give your feedback.
well, I feel like it was pretty much me because I've spent my whole life just listening to spirit, which has been my guide and taking me where it was I needed to be. And it was always every 7 years. Every 7 years, there was something different I was supposed to do. So he confirmed pretty much that that was my journey. And, I had to go, I went back and I asked my grandmother if she ever loved me because she was so nice to the other grandchildren and she never included me really. I just felt like an outcast to her. And she said, well, the other ones needed me and you were just there. And I go, okay. But see, that way I had a clear understanding and I could let it go. Because I always wondered why she didn't like me like the others. But
Do you relate that at all to your hesitancy to dive into teaching work or shit?
into teaching,
Yeah, like what
well, I
Meenakshi
did
was.
earlier when I was younger.
Oh,
I
you taught dance, yeah.
Yeah. And well, um, I did dance for a long time. I mean, even when my daughter was growing up, we did dance. So
Mm.
that was a big part of my life. That was a way for me to express myself, I think that I never was able to do with my family or
So,
so.
did you feel you learned anything new today, White Feather? Something that
Yes. It was very enlightening. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And your North Node being in Taurus is in the seventh house is also about tuning into your senses. Seventh house is also objects of beauty, beautiful things like dream catchers and things
And
that
my
really
my
engage your senses.
Well, and I made Native American drums and rattles and all kinds of things for many
Mm,
years. And I'm not doing that anymore, but
very interesting.
a lot of artistic things.
Hmm. I didn't receive a birth data from you, Juanita. I don't know if you're still listening, but
yeah. I asked her also, she may have been stepped out. I also felt because in these sessions, we listen to the charts of others and not always of ourselves. And I feel that the benefit here is um, even if it's not of each person, if we know one another, then of course we can add a little bit or get an insight. And like I've already said, in this case, we may have found another presenter, which I'd already found, by the way, but now I have ammunition to help her to come on board. The stars will help, but also I think it helps us to understand, because at the soul level, Steve, I had a question about this, about soul astrology. You said that it's the stars at the moment of birth. So is in soul astrology, is there anything that says when is it um, that your soul comes into the body, or the soul emerges, or something like that?
Oh, it depends on which book, which author, which teacher, which system of astrology, which part of the world, which culture. This is one of the most hotly debated topics, and nobody has any proof.
Okay.
I've heard all kinds of estimates
Yeah,
about
I
when
was
this
wondering
functions
if there's
into the body.
anything, yeah, if there's any feeling you had about that.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I suspect the soul doesn't come into the body immediately when the sperm fertilizes the egg. It takes a while for the fetus to grow to even be able to support the soul. But one of my teachers used to say that taking human birth is not easy, not just the living a human lifetime, but 9 months hanging upside down in a hot womb with no cable, no TV, no Burger King or McDonald's. So you're just hanging there and it's hot, you're always in 98.6 or 99 degrees temperature, and it's not a lot to do. It's not, it's not like a luxury tour of Europe or a cruise or anything. You're just hanging there. And then going through birth is rather shocking because you get accustomed to being completely protected. And you're you probably feel rather powerless because, well, those 8 or 9 months you're in your mother's womb, she may have some, if she slips or falls or something, you feel the shock or the trauma of that. If she gets into an argument or fight with someone at work or with your father or whoever, depending on how sensitive the soul you are, you pick up on a lot of that, and it really makes an impression. In fact, the prenatal, during the 9 months or 8 months or however long someone stays in the womb, there's a prenatal lunar eclipse and a prenatal solar eclipse, and those suggest, in fact, if you want, I can take a look at that for you.
I can counter some of the things you were saying or add to it. Yeah, I think I've also heard, like you're saying, might sense the stuff. People have gone through regressions or just have memories of hearing things in the womb. I mean, I've heard those stories personally, but some people can actually hear of people talking and stuff around them when they're in the womb, not just feel what the mother's feeling. I'm just saying I've heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard it. And the other thing is, when we're talking about astrology and what's true for her, I think every bit of astrology is true for all. I mean, we're all teachers. It's just like, boy, if you're born with that aspect, you're going to be a great teacher or a wonderful teacher. You're going to be really into that or something. But I think we can all teach, but it's going to be like a lesser degree. So I think anything you're saying can relate to all of us. And I just love listening. It's great. That's all.
Yes. Okay, let me take a look at your prenatal and prenatal solar eclipse and prenatal lunar eclipse. And let's see, what is it there? Solar eclipse was in Taurus in the 8th. Lunar eclipse was in Scorpio. Oh, right by the South Node. So yeah, so that suggests white feather in this lifetime. What was coming to completion was that intense, passionate need to go out and explore and be fierce in trying to get to the bottom of things, solve mysteries, see through the surface of things, and um, pay less attention to your senses, and to try to transform and change things almost by force. Scorpio rising in the first house is very intense. It tries to change things, tries to control things. And in this lifetime, that is coming to completion. You at some point in this life, you feel like, okay, that's complete. I don't need to try to go out and passionately investigate everything, get to the bottom of it, and transform everything. I've been there, done that. It's complete. But the solar eclipse, what is starting up in this lifetime, what started up as something new for you in this life was Taurus in the 8th. Learning about money and the value of material things, learning about the value of possessions and about talents and skills, in developing your sense of self-worth from that, and also merging it with those of others. It's your solar eclipse right there. While you were in the womb, there was a solar eclipse at about 18 degrees Taurus. So yeah, I don't know. Does it sound like you kind of came to completion with this external exploration, trying to change things and get to the bottom of everything?
Yeah, I have had a shift in that,
And
um,
and then did
and a babysitter dropped me on my head,
oh, ouch.
and I wonder if that affected my life in any way. I've
Well,
forgotten about that.
luckily, babies are so much more flexible. The bones and the blood vessels. It's when we're older and we get dropped on the head. That's when it's really dangerous because the blood vessels rupture so much easier when we're
Mm.
older. But your solar eclipse, when you were still in the womb, was in Taurus in the eighth house. So that means in this lifetime you were going to start something new about developing your own sense of self-worth based on either your own earnings or your own talents and skills, and possibly merging that with
I
others.
felt like I came in. Do we come in knowing? I mean, I made a doll dress when I was 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I started dancing when I was 3. And,
Oh.
I, like I said, I made my daughter's wedding dress. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had those talents from, I don't know. It appeared to me that I came in with them.
Yeah. Nobody had to teach you and your family.
No, I just went and did it. And I would take the clippings from my brother's uh, shirts my mom made and made a quilt.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was in there somewhere. I don't know.
Well, the eighth house is all about merging with someone else or some other groups and sharing those talents and skills with other people and other groups. But eighth house is also the Scorpio house, so it's deep, intense, transformative energy. So, like you were saying, you may have done those. You may have somehow been transformed through sharing those talents and gifts, skills
Like another lifetime or what?
in this lifetime, and you may have transformed other people by sharing those. You transformed those kids that you taught how to dance.
Mm-hmm.
You transformed your own consciousness when you started dancing at age 3. Dancing really changes consciousness,
Mm.
takes you to a whole nother level.
Well,
Yeah, so something to reflect on, something to think
yeah.
about.
I just also wanted to say that because she had to leave, Camilla, and she said, I really enjoyed the meditation. The meditation was really wonderful, Steve. I want to say that so that we don't close without that
Oh,
feedback.
thank you for
It-
reminding me. Yes,
yeah,
and the intention was to open and close, so we can have another meditation now if
yeah,
you're up for it, just a brief one.
yes, that would be wonderful.
Mm.
And I feel like I was a pig with the time. I didn't know what to expect. So I hope everything's okay.
Yeah. Well, I just want to honor the 2 hours. So if we have a 7 or 8 minute meditation now, then we will stay within the stated time just to respect everyone's time. And if anyone wants to stay later for the after party, they're welcome to do that if they want to. Oh, thank you for the background music, Meenakshi. So, as I said earlier, the way, the life according to Garp, life according to Steve, right? Is that the outer world that we experience through our physical senses and our mind is like the face of the clock. It's just looking at the hands of time and seeing how much time we have and how we want to fill it. Looking into astrology and all these other arts and sciences of the occult is like taking apart the clock, looking into the workings, the gears, how everything is, how the gears interlock with each other, how they connect, how they move, understanding the cycles. It's fascinating to some. Some people have no interest in that, but meditation brings us right to the source of the power that keeps all those gears running and keeps the hands of time moving, and keeps and actually sustains the universe, the whole creation. Without that source power, the whole thing just evaporates and disappears. So meditation is powerful because it brings us out of the illusion of the body, the mind, and the senses, mind, matter, and illusion. And it brings us deep to within ourselves to explore this marvelous temple of the human body, which was said by many mystics to be the greatest boon any soul can receive, is a human birth, as challenging as it may be. And we're all living according to our star charts, whether we know it or not. And the world is moving in harmony with the movement of the planets. Sometimes they're in a very harmonious configuration. Sometimes they're opposing and squaring and having conflict. But it's all somehow by divine intelligence. And the highest form of human intelligence is observation without evaluation. So if you'll just get comfortable sitting with your back straight but not stiff, let yourself sink into your seat and feel the weight of your body as a strong embrace, like Mother Earth, Gaia herself, is wrapping her arms around you and holding your body tight. She knows that it's precious. It's made of the same elements as the earth. And the earth itself was made from elements from the stars, from supernova explosions of dying stars. All the heavy elements came from that to the earth. And that's what our bodies are made of. The earth is 70 or 75% water, so is the human body. Let your body become one with the earth. Feel the stillness of the earth beneath you. Know that Mother Earth has your back. She's always there, always, always, always holding you close to her. Don't have to do anything with your body. Don't even have to move. When you're ready, take a slow, gentle breath, expanding only your belly as you breathe in crystal clear healing energy. Breathing in stillness and connection to the earth. As you exhale, relax your feet and your legs. Let them melt down into the earth. Becoming one with her. Breathe in healing white light as you breathe in presence, openness to the now moment. Exhaling very slowly as you relax your hips, buttocks, pelvis, and waist. Relax your back, lower, middle, and upper back. Breathe in healing silver light now. As you breathe in an awareness of the power you always have in every moment to choose how to focus your loving attention, which is the manifestation of your soul in the body is through loving attention. Exhaling silently, gracefully, slowly relax your stomach, relax your navel, relax your chest, relax your internal organs, relax your hands and arms. Breathe in silver healing light, slowly, gently, deeply. Breathing in trust in your inner self to know the inner pathways through the human temple into the inner realms. Exhaling as you relax your shoulders, relax your neck and throat, relax your face and your head. Breathe in silver light once again. Breathing in effortlessness, easefulness. As you exhale, let go of all effort and all strain and struggle and trying to get somewhere. As you relax your shoulders, your neck, your throat, your face, and eyes. Relax your eyes. Breathe in golden healing light now. As you breathe in the golden light of profound peace. Peace of mind, peace and stillness of the body. Exhaling gently, silently as you relax your face and eyes, relax your mind, relax your brain. Breathe golden light in now through the middle of your forehead. Breathing brilliant golden healing light into the very center of your brain. Bathing your brain, neurons and synapses in this healing golden light, which absorbs all the thoughts, all the restlessness of the mind. And as you exhale, let the golden light wash away all the tensions, all the restlessness of the mind, all the thoughts. Breathe deep purple or indigo light in through the middle of your forehead, deep into the core of your brain, breathing in the mystical indigo light of wisdom deep into your mind, spiritual wisdom. As you exhale, let go of your own personal desires, let go of the desires of the mind. The Buddha suggested that enlightenment requires that we become desireless as far as our personal egoic mind desire. Breathe at your own pace as you tune into the desires hidden deep within your heart. Mystics suggest that every human heart harbors this profound desire to return to source, back to where we all came from. The ocean of light, the ocean of unconditional love, compassion, connection. And with your physical eyelids gently closed, you don't see anything in the outside world, but your spiritual eye, your sixth chakra, is that organ which sees the darkness in front of you. Allow yourself to see it up close and personal. See it very clearly as you gaze toward the center of that darkness. Let go of all preconceived notions about what you've seen in the past, what you would like to see, what you want to see, what you think meditation is supposed to be. Just let go of all of that and be here right now, seeing very simply and plainly the darkness that is right there in front of you. Your attention may drift and wander around, wander away from the center. Bring it back repeatedly to the center. You can repeat any calming word or divine name or mantra, but do so almost prayerfully, lovingly from the core of your heart as you get in touch with that higher desire of the heart and soul to return home to the ocean of light and peace. Say your calming word is love. Hear yourself calling out from deep in your heart through the back of your mind. Love. 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 Gaze with the innocence and sense of wonder of a young child gazing out into the night sky for the first time, with curiosity, with wonderment, seeing vast possibilities in that darkness. And know that the darkness is, the light is interwoven, intermingled with the darkness. So as you focus in more deeply, more clearly, like with a laser-like focus into the darkness, you're actually beginning your spiritual journey. You're starting towards the light. Let your attention merge more and more deeply into that sacred space right in front of you, becoming more completely immersed, engrossed, and absorbed. Transcension comes through total absorption, effortless absorption. And if the mind sends you distracting thoughts, do not become annoyed or irritated or agitated. Just thank your mind. It's functioning exactly the way it's programmed. It's letting you know that some of your attention is not focused into your inner vision. So just gently pull your attention away from the distracting thought and put more and more and more of your loving attention into your inner vision. As we enter into the theater of your own higher consciousness, you let go of all the stress and strain in your body. Let go of the restlessness of the mind. You enter into an effortless flow state as your soul's consciousness moves closer, ever so slightly closer to source, as it begins the journey back home. And as you do this, as you focus in to the highest seat of the soul in the body, the sixth chakra, the third eye, it's like climbing to the top of the bell tower in a church or a mosque, looking out the highest window up toward the heavens. And in doing so, we start to remember who and what we truly are as soul, as spirit, as light, as love. We are peace, we are love. The attributes of the soul are so powerful. We start to remember them. Soul has the attribute of immortality, fearlessness, connectedness to all beings and all things, animate and inanimate, sentient and non-sentient. The soul has the attribute of unconditional love of all, of the stranger, just as much as to the loved one. Soul has the attribute of selflessness. It delights, it takes joy in helping someone in need. We remember the soul's attribute of wisdom. It's all right there deep within the heart. All day long, even as we sleep. Soul has wisdom built into it. It's just for us to quiet the mind to be able to hear the whispers of wisdom from the heart with the intuitive awareness. Soul has the attribute of non-violence and humility. So I want to thank Spirit. I want to thank the ocean of light for creating all of us so that we could co-create this gathering together with each other. I want to thank the twin divine principles of light and sound current, which are upholding the entire universe and upholding each of our souls, giving us this gift of life, this precious, precious gift, life in a human form, the only form in which the soul can take steps back toward its source. To end the long journey of reincarnation and transmigration. Thank Meenakshi for organizing this. And thanks to White Feather for allowing us to put her soul star map under the microscope, sharing. And Tree and everyone else who attended. Namaste. I salute the light within you. And the light is always there, shining in all these beautiful colors through the various chakras. Even when our awareness is not focused upon them, they shine all the time. You're ready, you can take a deep, slow breath. Breathe in alertness, breathe in energy to your physical body and mind. Exhale as you release fatigue, tiredness. Gently move your hands and feet to bring your attention back down into the physical plane. And we are back.
Thank you so much, Steve.
My pleasure. It's been a privilege.
Very beautiful soul journey. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you, Stephen Meenakshi and White Feather, for volunteering.
Thank you. It's good to see everybody. Thank you for the reading. It's very enlightening.
You're most welcome.